Okay folks, so this morning we're going to be doing a golf course tour and review of the Crooked River Ranch golf course. It is a phenomenal spot located in Terrebonne, in the heart of the Crooked River Ranch subdivision. Come join me, check out some of the amenities. Let's go play a round of golf. As we can see, Crooked River is a lovely golf course. It's super well maintained. It is absolutely impeccable. The staff is fantastic, and it's one place that I have to recommend that you go while you're out here in Central Oregon. Crooked River is a par 72 course. It's not super challenging, being that it's only 5,818 yards from the tips, but it gives a lot of spectacular views. It gives a fun just time out on the golf course, fun for all ages, and it's something that I can't express enough. Get out here and don't knock it till you try it. It's a place for the entire family to come, enjoy themselves, and have a hell of a time golfing. It's not too cost restrictive, and personally, it's one of my favorite places to go. Just get out, hit the ball around, and not stress too much about my golf game. It doesn't have a super high index on it, but it's just good, clean, fun golf. Now come join me as we go play hole by hole, hear a little commentary, and get out here and check out Crooked River Ranch. It is one of those places you really can't miss. So right here we're going to start off with a nice short par 5. It is 455 yards from the white. Take my driver out here and send this one just up the left. This left me a nice comfortable, I believe this was an 8 iron here, and it was a little wet. We got out at 7:05 this morning, hence all the early morning light. Hit a nice little shot here, but leave it just a little bit short. Got out my 60. We were about 55 yards out. Nice little half swing here. Try to put her up on the green. Very happy with that. Come out with a nice little birdie putt. And just going to get a bad read on this, leave it a little off. A couple inches short for a nice little tap in par, start the round off right. Let's go. Hole 2 is a nice little easy par 4. It was playing 318 from the whites, it's 355 from the tips. Took out the driver here, just wanted to bomb something right down the middle, give myself a nice little approach shot. Was pretty happy with where this ball flew, landed right up the middle, had a little bit of a tree in front of me. So took out the 60. I was about 70 yards out on this. Not a super long drive, just playing a little fairway finder. I just put it right up over that tree, gave myself a phenomenal look on the green. Here's for a birdie. I was about 16 feet out, and we sunk it to go 1 under on the day. So hole 3 is a 267 yard par 4, 279 from the tips. So I took out the 3-wood here, and I always forget that this one's a 4. Always think it's a 3. Shot one just left of the green. Overall good tee shot, but not super pleased with where it ended up. This gave me a nice little chip on, and I thought for a second this one was going to go in. It just rolled right past the cup, but gives me a nice little opportunity to knock in a birdie. And you're going to see that my struggles with the flat stick, at least for birdie conversions, are just prevalent this morning. The greens were slow, they were a little wet, and I just don't put enough mustard on this, but I give myself a nice little opportunity to sink par, and we stay at 1 under. So hole 4 is a 132 yard par 3, 144 from the tips. I decided to take my gap wedge out here for some reason, and since it's not my pitching wedge, which goes 130, I left it significantly short. Not my best look off the tee. Also, sorry about the angle. Found out a lot of this course goes east-west and 7 a.m.'s a little bright. This gives you my 60 for a little pitch on, and I just don't get it close enough, so I have a long up and down for a par save, and just not used to the greens being, well, this damp from early morning. I try and get a read here, and it just isn't what we're looking for. Go out, leave this one short like you're seeing. I've been two-putting a lot. Get close, but no cigar. Tap in for bogey, and we're back to even. So hole 5 at Crooked River Ranch is pretty cool because while it is a 245 yard par 4, 260 from the tips, it actually doglegs around the canyon. And I set up here because I want to cut that corner and just stick one on the green. I take out my 4 hybrid and I put a really good swing on this. I was very happy with how this ball turned out. Went right across the canyon and gave me a phenomenal look for an eagle putt because I set that thing up right on the green. About 40 feet off here. And again, leave it short, but it's hard to complain when you're putting for eagle. So we're going to knock this in for a bird, and we're going to go back to 1 under on the day. This is a super fun hole on the course. It actually won, I think back in 2004, Oregon Golf Digest most unique hole in the state. So hole 6 is a 421 or 452 yard par 5. Pretty straight hole. Come out here and I bomb this one, push it a little bit up the left, and it puts me in a little bit of a funky spot right under some trees. So I'm out here, I take out my 8 iron, I believe, and I want to just really punch this one up close, try and stay out of the leaves and the hang down, and I think I did a pretty decent job here. Try and keep it low, hit a stinger, but I know I'm no Phil Mickelson, so I just kind of hunker and watch it run. Right here I'm on the edge of the green and just take out the old 8 iron. I'm going to bump and run her up there, give myself a decent look so that I can get at least a par out of this whole thing. And I'm pretty pleased with that. Got me within the neighborhood, a little far back, but we still have a look at birdie here. That's a good roll, and the story of the day is just leave it short, leave it short, leave it short, but it's hard to complain when you're knocking one in. Stay 1 under. Hole 7 is a nice little par 3. There's a nice little bit of elevation gain here. I took out my 9 iron because it is 141 yards, 149, but there is that uphill. Struck this one pretty pure and put it right to the edge of the green so that I get a chance to putt on. Unfortunately, I set my camera up, didn't record me 2-putting to save par, and instead just recorded myself getting into the cart, so we're on to the next hole. So hole 8 is a 310 or 318 yard par 4. There is some water out there about 280 yards. So I just took out my 5 wood and really just kind of babied this shot. Didn't put much into it. I could have probably hit an iron that far, but we're in the green stuff, so can't really complain. Right here, I was about 100 yards out, so just took out my gap wedge and we went pin hunting. And I put a really good shot on this one and gave myself another birdie opportunity. So I got a long birdie putt here, and I bet y'all can guess what I do with it at this point. And if you guessed leave it short, you are 100% correct. So we're two putting, and I gave myself a pretty long putt to save this par. And he's knocking a little bit, and I just whiff it. Gotta love it. A nice 3-putt for bogey to go 1 over. But hey, that's golf, isn't it? Hole 9 to round out the front 9 is a 305 or 317 yard par 4. Very, very straight. Just came out here, took the driver, bombed it into this wide open fairway. One of the things about playing early that you do have to pay attention about that I wasn't used to is the number of lawnmowers that are out there and people taking care of the course. And so I left myself with a nice little chip, and as you can tell from the body language, not super stoked about it. Cleaning off the club. Should have put this on, but instead, now we're chipping to attempt to give myself an up and down here. Probably should have putted, but gave myself a decent little shot. So I gave myself a good putt here to go up and down, not too far out. And I thought I struck this one perfectly. Got the break and, lips out. Tap in for bogey. We are now 2 over. So we're coming into hole 10 right now. It's 335 with a little dog leg right, 353 from the tips. Playing pretty well, so we are 2 over. I'm taking out the 4 hybrid here. Just trying to lay it up before the bunkers that are on the left side, which are about 220 out. I had a good shot. Keep it up the left, and pretty happy with that. Took out my 8-iron because we were about 160 and put this one towards the back of the green. Looking a little skeptical, but we're dancing. So we're off the fringe here. And I decided to go with a nice little 8-iron. We're going to bump and run her up here so that we can get a good look for an up and down. And I'm stoked. You can hear it right here in the live clip.
Bump and run, get you done.
Up here with a short par save, we're going to get up and down, and we're going to keep this rolling with a nice little 2 over. Oh, never mind, blow it past, bogey, 3 over. So here we are on 11, nice little short par 3, so we're 127 from the whites, 146 from the tips. I grab out my pitching wedge and really want to try to attack this back pin placement. Squared it up, but left this one a little short, leaving me a long putt.
We are dancing.
So we got a pretty decent putt here. Not the best, but if we can get this thing in close, we're going to have ourselves a chance to keep at this 3 over. And just awful read. Puts us in range, but not as close as we would like to be. Going to take this short putt, and let's just ram it on home, keep us rolling at 3 over. Or at least that's what I thought what I was going to do, but instead push it left, take a bogey, go 4 over through 11. Here we are, hole 12 at Crooked River Ranch, and it is 314 from the whites, 338 from the tips, and I drove this one little low, little slicey, but we kept it in the middle of the fairway. Took out a 7-iron for this one and thought that I was going to lay this into the right spot, but fortunately we didn't stick the green. We went a little left, tried to shape it back in, but left myself with a greenside chip. Take that, blow it on past, and we're going to be putting from the fringe again. Unfortunately, I just couldn't make the adjustment today on these greens. It was early, it was kind of wet, but those are just excuses. I leave this short for the par save and just battle my way around here because I'm not taking my time setting up. This is for bogey and just push this left. Got to settle for the tap in for the double, which puts us at 6 over. So here's hole 13 at Crooked River. Nice little par 4, 332 from the whites, 354 from the tips. Took out the driver and really got a hold of this one. Ball felt really good, but this is the hole where the wheels start coming off a little bit. I noticed that my camera battery was getting low, and I'm starting to really rush and push tempo. I take out a nice little 60 degree here, put us on the green, but since I'm rushing, I actually end up missing the birdie and par putt and instead get this nice piece of B-roll. So I ended up making par on this hole to stay 4 over, but we didn't get the full shot of everything. So here we are on hole 14 at Crooked River. It is a par 5, 479 from the whites, 494 from the tips. I took out my driver here. I ended up pulling this up the right side a little further than I would like to. But it puts me in a good spot to get out my hybrid. Unfortunately, I missed the shot, but I ended up putting it close, giving myself a nice little chip opportunity. With the chip, though, since we got a back pin, I try and float it in there, but I just get kind of fat and I don't finish my shot. Ends up sitting up about 30 feet from the pin. Upside, do have a birdie putt, but it's a lot deeper than I would like to. My goal here is just to get it close and see if I can tap us in for par, keep us at a nice 4 over. Ball runs up there, but leave it just a little short. You see it in the knees, liked it, but we'll settle for par, stay 4 over, and on to the next hole. So hole 15 is a 296-yard par 4 from the whites, 318 from the tips. It's fairly narrow, water up the left, so I ended up pulling this thing to the right, and it looks like it's going OB, but it hits a little rock outcropping and kicks me out into the rough. I take out my 56, and we got a mid-green pin placement, so I really just try and lay it up there nice. Thought this one would have the juice to it, but leaves us up on the fringe on the front left. So we're putting again, seeing if we can get up and down. And like the story of today, Parker just can't put enough weight behind it. And we're short again. Decent line, but baby it up there. Try and sink the par and just rush it. Don't line it up right. Leave myself a nice little 2-putt tap in bogey to put me 5 over. Hole 16 at Crooked River is a short par 3. We're talking 110 from the whites, 125 from the tips, or 135 if you really want to back it up. So I took out my trusty gap wedge here. Made solid contact, but I'm up the right side of the green. You can tell from the body language, not super stoked. We're off the edge, and we're just going to try and chip it up, lay it nice, see if we can get up and down for a par save. But all these strokes are not instilling confidence. Gets up there, but just sits down and sticks. I leave myself about a 6.5 footer, try and line it up, but I'm thinking too much about the camera and the dying battery, so I'm just going fast, and it looks like, based on that line right there, we ain't doing it. Just right on the edge of the cup, and tap her in for 6 over. Hole 17 at Crooked River, It's a good hole. A little dog leg to the left-hand side, fairly narrow, 386 from the whites, 405 from the tips. I took my hybrid and put this up the left. Probably should have gone with something a little bit more to really clear those trees, but I was trying to play conservative. Right now, I was just waiting for the green to clear from the mower, and so I take out a nice little iron, but I pull it, and this is the first time that we're hitting from the garbage. Try and take something out here, and I'm just playing too quick. End up blasting this right over the green. Not happy about it. So we're laying 3, shooting 4, trying to keep it together. Put it up there for the bogey putt, back myself off, and end up sinking it for the bogey to go 7 over. So hole 18 at Crooked River is 382 from the whites, 401 from the tips. It runs pretty straight, has a little bit of a turn up to the right. I take out the driver here. Just want to make good solid contact, make sure that I'm staying at 80 or under out here. I was pretty happy with this drive. Good contact, put me in a quality spot to be successful. So I end up clubbing down. I'm just stressing because I think that my camera is going to die at any moment. I forgot that I have an iPhone that shoots in 4K. So I just grab a club, run up to the ball, and end up leaving this short on the left side of the green, leaving myself a bit of a tough chip to get up and down with. Got to go over the bunker and give myself something to work with. Take out the old trusty 60 and just put it a little too far. You can tell from the body language, not super stoked. And right after that last shot, you can just tell camera died, had to switch over to the iPhone. Have a long putt to save par. Just doesn't work. So I'm looking at the bogey here to give myself a nice little 8 over. And I put it down, save the 80, and just had a great day out playing Crooked River Ranch. Hey guys, if you liked watching me play Crooked River Ranch, like, subscribe, hit the bell so that you know when we're posting more notifications. We're also going to be doing community tours as well as a variety of other housing tours and community things for Central Oregon. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have yourself a great day.